Welcome to the Obscure Files. In this video, we'll be taking a look into some of the strangest disappearances that you may not have heard of. Before we begin, consider subscribing to this channel if you're into all things unexplained. Hit that thumbs up button if you're a fan of mysteries. Seeing as how these missing persons cases are still unsolved, I will add information in the description on who to contact if you have any information in the cases discussed in this video. Lars Mittank was a 28-year-old German man described by friends and family as friendly, outgoing, and a healthy young man. In July 2014, Lars traveled to the seaside resort of Golden Sands in Bulgaria for a vacation with friends. Everything seemed normal until the last day of the trip. After a minor altercation at a bar, Lars suffered a ruptured eardrum, which made flying home risky. While his friends flew back to Germany, Lars stayed behind alone to recover, but this is where things started to get strange. Lars began behaving erratically, texting his mother that he felt unsafe and that strange people were following him. On July 8, 2014, Lars arrived at Varna Airport in Bulgaria, intending to finally return home. However, once inside the airport, his behavior became even more bizarre. He was seen on CCTV footage suddenly running out of the terminal in a panic, leaving all his belongings behind. He then disappeared into the surrounding forest and was never seen again. Lars's disappearance has sparked numerous theories. Was he suffering from a sudden onset of paranoia or a mental health crisis? Some have even speculated that he is the victim of human trafficking or organ harvesting. Lars Mittank remains missing, and there have been no new leads regarding his disappearance. Brandon Swanson is a 19-year-old college student from Marshall, Minnesota, known for being responsible and level-headed. On the night of May 13, 2008, Brandon was driving home after a night out celebrating the end of the semester with friends. Around midnight, while driving on rural back roads, Brandon's car veered off into a ditch. Unable to get the car out, Brandon called his parents, who immediately set out to find him. Brandon described his surroundings and stayed on the phone with his father, guiding him to his location. Brandon decided to leave his car and walk towards what he believed were nearby lights of a town. As he continued to talk to his father, he suddenly exclaimed, "Oh shit." The line went silent, and despite multiple attempts to call back, Brandon never answered. This chilling moment would be the last contact anyone had with him. The search for Brandon began immediately, with law enforcement, volunteers, and even tracking dogs scouring the area. Despite finding his car and tracing his footsteps to the edge of a river, no sign of Brandon was ever found. Some believe he may have fallen into the Yellow Medicine River, while others suggest he encountered someone or something in the dark fields that night. Brandon's parents continue to search for answers, holding out hope that one day they will find their son or at least discover what happened to him. Trevaline Evans was a well-known and well-liked figure in Llangollen, Wales, where she ran an antique shop. Described as a quiet and responsible woman, Trevaline was married and lived a routine life. On the morning of June 16, 1990, she opened her shop as usual. On that Saturday afternoon, Trevaline left a note on the door of her shop that read, "Back in 2 minutes," and stepped out. Witnesses saw her walking around town, purchasing an apple and a banana, and visiting a local bank. However, after this brief outing, Trevaline seemed to vanish without a trace. She never returned to her shop, and her car, which was parked nearby, was left untouched. As the hours turned into days, concern grew, and a large-scale search was launched. The police combed through the town, surrounding countryside, and even the River Dee, but no clues were ever found. Some theories suggest Trevaline might have been abducted, while others believe she may have chosen to leave her life behind. Over the years, the investigation has turned up nothing, leaving both her family and police baffled. More than 30 years have passed, and yet the disappearance of Trevaline Evans remains as mysterious as the day it happened. If you're enjoying the video so far, please hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed for more videos about the unexplained. Let me know in the comments below what other missing persons cases are intriguing or bizarre. Bryce Laspisa was a 19-year-old student at Sierra College in California, known for his outgoing personality and artistic talents. But in the days leading up to his disappearance in August 2013, Bryce's behavior began to change dramatically. He broke up with his girlfriend, gave away personal belongings, and started acting erratically. On August 28th, Bryce decided to drive home to his parents' house in Laguna Niguel. After leaving campus, he called his mother, stating that he was coming home, but his behavior was worrying. His friends noticed his unusual actions, and one even took his car keys to stop him from leaving, but Bryce insisted, saying he needed to go. Eventually, his friend relented, and Bryce set off on a journey that would take a bizarre and unsettling turn. Instead of driving directly home, Bryce spent hours driving aimlessly through the night, covering very little distance. He was spotted at several gas stations, where he appeared calm, but oddly detached. At one point, Bryce's car ran out of gas, and he had to call roadside assistance. The tow truck driver who helped him reported that Bryce seemed fine, though somewhat disoriented. Around 2 a.m. on August 30th, 2013, Bryce spoke to his mother, reassuring her that he was coming home, but hours later, his red SUV was found abandoned near Castaic Lake at the bottom of a steep embankment. The rear window had been shattered from the inside, but Bryce was nowhere to be found. His wallet, phone, and other belongings were left behind. Despite extensive searches, including the use of dive teams, no trace of Bryce has ever been found, leaving the case unsolved. Bobby Dunbar was just 4 years old when he went missing while on a fishing trip with his family in the swamps of Louisiana. Despite an extensive search involving hundreds of volunteers, Bobby seemed to have vanished into thin air. Days turned into weeks, and hope began to fade, until a boy matching Bobby's description was found in Mississippi 8 months later. The boy found in Mississippi was brought back to the Dunbars, and at first, they were convinced he was their missing son, but another woman, Julia Anderson, came forward, claiming the boy was actually her son, Bruce Anderson, who had been abducted by a drifter. What followed was a courtroom battle and a public spectacle that left everyone questioning the truth. The case went to court with both the Dunbars and Julia Anderson fighting for custody of the boy. Despite conflicting testimonies and the boy's uncertain responses, the court ultimately sided with the Dunbars, and the boy lived the rest of his life as Bobby Dunbar. But the question lingered. Was he really Bobby, or was Julia Anderson telling the truth? For nearly a century, the mystery remained unsolved. But in the early 2000s, Bobby Dunbar's descendants decided to finally put the question to rest with a DNA test. The results shocked the family and the world. Bobby Dunbar was not a Dunbar after all. The boy who had lived his life as Bobby was in fact Bruce Anderson, as Julia had claimed all those years ago. The revelation of the DNA test turned the story of Bobby Dunbar on its head. It raised questions about identity, memory, and the power of belief. The true fate of the real Bobby Dunbar remains a mystery to this day, leaving everyone to wonder what really happened to the boy who disappeared in 1912. Cases like these remind us just how many questions remain unanswered in the world, leaving us to wonder what really happened to those who vanished without a trace. If you found this video intriguing, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who enjoy a good mystery. And if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on our next adventure into the unexplained. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.